What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my NBA DFS contenders on FanDuel for Friday, May 14th. Now be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all of our other content goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get updates to these sim results as we get closer to lock. And finally, let me know in the comment section who is your favorite and least favorite of my contenders for today's slate. Now, more important than ever before, you need to be paying attention to news all day, particularly at lock, particularly after lock. There are going to be infinite changes to this list, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't start somewhere. So, Andrew Wiggins, Stanley Johnson, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Luka Doncic, and Najee Marshall are on the outside looking in. Who will be my favorites? My top 5 plays for today? It's time to find out. First up at number 5, we're paying up. I'm going to the point guard spot, and I'm grabbing Steph Curry. He's 10,100, that is. 50 fantasy point projection. The goal is 57. He's in the optimal lineup 28% of the time. So the Warriors actually have a lot to play for over these final 2 games, in that they are trying to hold off the Grizzlies from taking the 8 seed. The difference between being 8 and 9 is massive. So I think that the Warriors are going to be going for it here. I've got Curry in for 35 minutes. 1.43 fantasy points per minute in a pace-up spot against the Pelicans. That's 37% usage, 35 real points, 6 boards, 5 assists, maybe a steal. Again, I think that the Warriors need to win this game in order to maintain their lead over the Grizzlies, which means I think that everybody for the Warriors play today. If that's the case, Steph Curry looks like a fantastic pay-up option on a day where money will not be hard to find. Next up at number 4, we're going to power forward $4,300 Marcus Morris. He's 3,100, projected for 34, and he's in the optimal lineup 32% of the time. Now, I assume you're looking at it thinking, why is Marcus Morris so high? I am going with the assumption that Kawhi Leonard and Paul George do not play today on the back-to-back. I'm guessing. It's up in the air. There were reports that they may rest, so I'm going with it as of right now. 32 minutes for Morris. 0.96. That's me doing the math on the fly. 0.96 fantasy points per minute for Morris in this spot. 24% usage, 20 points, 5 boards, very little else. He's very scoring dependent, but it's a matchup against Houston. It's actually a slight pace up spot for the Clippers, and you know what you're getting out of Houston, and that is very, very little. They are the worst team in the NBA. So if we do see no Kawhi Leonard and no Paul George, it's not out of the realm of possibility that we also see no Marcus Morris, but for right now, I assume he is in, and that puts him at the number 4 spot. At number 3, we're staying in the same game, going to shooting guard and grabbing Khyri Thomas. He is 5,800, projected for 35.5. The goal is 40. He's in the optimal lineup 30% of the time, 37% of the time, in fact. I gave him 35 minutes, but he could play 40. He could play 30. There's no confidence here for the Rockets. We got to pay close attention to their lineup. But he's a fantasy point per minute guy. 16 points, 5.5 assists, 4 boards, 2 steals. Very active on the defensive end. Now, this is a massive pace down spot for Houston against the Clippers. But if they don't have Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, it's a much better defensive matchup at the very least. But either way, it doesn't matter. There's not enough bodies on the Rockets right now, and Khyri Thomas is going to play more than enough minutes to justify his price tag. Now at number 2, he was on the list yesterday, got ruled out for rest, but he is back again. Small forward eligible Michael Porter Jr., 7,600, projected for 39. The goal's 47. He's in the optimal lineup 42% of the time. Denver still has aspirations of finishing in the 3 seed, and I think Porter, taking a day off yesterday, can come in pretty refreshed against a Detroit Pistons team that's absolutely dreadful and resting basically everybody. 1.16 fantasy points per minute in 34 minutes for Porter, 26% usage, 25 real points, 7.5 boards, and very little else. But Porter is going to be able to do whatever he wants against this Pistons team. They're not they're resting guys that sometimes don't even rest. That's what's even crazier. I think they have 8 active bodies. It might actually be 9, but either way, it's none of their real NBA players. Load up Michael Porter Jr. for 7,600 at small forward. Underpriced. Now, before we get to that number 1 contender, one last reminder, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. Then go to twitter.com and follow me at Josh Engleman. It's the only place you can get updates to these sim results as we get closer to lock, and today, that is more important than ever. Finally, in the comment section underneath this video. I need your favorite contender, your least favorite contender, and the guy that you think should be on this list that you don't see. And finally, the number one contender for today's slate. We're paying all the way up. 12-5 point guard Russell Westbrook, projected for just shy of 63. The goal is 67, and he is in the optimal lineup 58% of the time. Wizards need it. They've got a chance to still finish in the 8th spot, which means they are one win away from the playoffs if they do that. They want that 8 seed if they can get it. 40 minutes for Russ, 1.57 fantasy points per minute, 35% usage. It is a pace down spot against Cleveland, but Cleveland stinks. 28.5 points, 13 boards, and 12 assists, plus 2 stocks. I don't care what the price is. I see it as a no-brainer. You are paying up for Russell Westbrook because you have infinite money to spend today. We will have more than enough value to free up and get you to Russ. And you'll have more than enough value to get yourself to Russ and Steph if you would like to. Knock out both point guard spots with most of your salary. It's an easy pay up. You can even still get Michael Porter Jr. in those lineups. Trust me, I've already seen it. So Russell Westbrook, the number one contender for today's slate. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders for FanDuel on Friday, May 14th, the final NBA DFS contenders of the regular season. Thank you guys so much for watching these for the entire year. It's been good. We're going to have these for the playoffs, don't worry. But regular season, that's it for me for contenders videos. So, process show is in the books. Go watch that. I broke down all 8 games. Strategy show at 10 a.m. with Lofty, where we'll do it again. DraftKings version of this video is around here somewhere. Good luck tonight, everybody. Be sure you're watching the tip-off show, Deeper Dive, and Live Before Lock, because news could never be more important. Enjoy your weekend, everybody. I will talk to you guys again Tuesday morning for the play-in version of the Contenders.